Alright, people of Earth, it's time to talk about my favourite topic of intellectual consideration. That is the video game series known as Pokemon. If you're not the jackass, you've probably heard of this piece of gaming culture, and to assume you lack of jackassery, you're probably aware that it ain't perfect. I'm going to spend the next chunk of your remaining lifespan talking about everything this time-honored series needs for its next generation, if we want to avoid a pathetic downfall of one of the few good things we have left on this stupid rock. Let's get into it, and let it be known, this ain't some pithy opinion. I'm talking facts here, people. Number frickin' 10. One of the most noticeable changes as Pokemon went from our bitty sausage fingers and onto our flat screens is that the fact that we're not staring at pixelated mass anymore. I'm talking 3D waifus, ducklings, and thunder runs as far as the eye can see. That being said, I fucking hate it. No question, I liked this series when you had a pair of pixelated shoulders dipping into the ground when they fainted. Now, I got nothing against 3D, but we gotta bring these games back to their old roots. And I know you pansies are gonna cry about it, so let's reach a middle ground. I say we have Pokemon T-posing as they kick the shite out of each other. At least that way they can assert their dominance without dancing at each other from 30 feet away. Number frickin' 9. While we're on the topic of giving these 3D sprites some more real personality, let's broach the non-Pokemon side of the spectrum. That being the human gobshites that need mandatory interaction to complete your journey. I already disturb the other humans in my real life. Why do I gotta throw myself at polygonal bastards that smile endlessly no matter how much I want to eat their sandwiches and sleep in their beds? I say just keep them as lifeless of turds as they are so I can go on my merry way throwing balls at smiling pita fodder. It's not like trainers are anything more than walking wallets waiting to get Pokemugged anyway. Number freaking 8. Back to the meat of the experience, Pokemon have always had something to consider about how they change and what they become. I'm talking evolutions here, people. And personally, a majority of them seem like they were made out of levy-weighted hank stains. Ghastly thinks it's smart to give up floating around for a pair of stubby little legs? Just don't make no frickin' sense to me. Luckily, there are a few beacons of darkness in this ever-changing landscape, that being the fact that they won't change. I can slap the shite out of every Elite Four lineup with a team of only Dunsparce any day of the week. Single evolution lads are what this game needs, right down to every unloved Weedle in this cruel world. Removing every evolution so me and Spinda can split every other competitor in half will take the next game from an 8 to an 8,000. Number frickin' 7. Speaking of obtuse changes to the proud creatures of this game, I'm sure many of you remember the Alolan variants that permeated the delicate ecosystem of these semi-endangered species of our childhood. As cool as I thought these were at first, I'd say they clearly need to be trashed or at least deported to their lands of origin before a weed trainer comes down with an outbreak of Volpox. Besides, this evolutionary off-branch seems like a momentary gimmick, so either Nintendo physically took my advice in advance or the variant population has already assimilated into the original food chain. I mean, the majority of Alolan forms were already pretty dumb looking anyway. Just look at Persian. It looks like me mum after the holidays. Number frickin' 6. Speaking of gimmicks, nothing taunts my tartan hide harder than the shit that refuses to come back. You got Mega Evolutions here and Z-moves there and some other crazy bullshit that is sure to be turning up in the pot soon. I understand that games need some more individuality, but what's the point if they're just gone before they can make any solid appreciation? And why are the Pokemon getting the gimmicks? I say we need a revolutionary, total original idea to make this trainer a whole new experience. I'm talking hunger, thirst, and sleep meters to keep you on your toes. How else are games supposed to keep you engaged if they don't worry about the 10-year-old starving to death on your screen? Where I'm from, those kind of thoughts build character. So what the hell with these little changes to Pokemon life? I say we make a hardcore life of a trainer actually worth living a little. Number frickin' 5. Back on the topic of our bally-cased battle slaves, I've noticed a mandatory game mechanic with Pokemon that many folks take some umbrage with. I'm talking about the HM system, particularly those that the game won't let you continue without. This has gotten on some people's nerves, but I find the fact that Nintendo wants to design my moveset quite flattering. Less work for me and more methods I can use to rip the game's world apart with my Pokemon. In fact, I'd prefer if they just designated all 24 moves on my 6 Pokemon with Cut, Strength, Rock Smash, and Defog, so it won't be ironic when I name my Pokemon Tree-Cutting Tart and Bulldozer Boy. Just ring me up when they throw on an HM that lets me tear down the walls of people's homes and my gaming experience will be set. Number frickin' 4. The only thing that clutters my game more than the amount of moves to memorize, it's the amount of Pokemon in general I need to remember. It was enough of a labor getting the first 150 in me head, but at this point we're at a number higher than they taught me to count. Most of them seem to be the same way anyway, right down to the one that's literally just a set of keys. What the Pokemon ecology really needs is one hell of a purge, but since murder is frowned upon, I say we just make sure we get fewer new ones. Give us about 12 Pokemon from Galar and we'll be as good as gold. Even fluff them up by giving to us in blue, purple, green, indigo, and grey. That way at least we chalk up the numbers to keep searching the grass like we dropped our contacts in the brush. Number frickin' 3. As we're moving along from the stories we've come to know and we're actually considering the daunting task of catching them all, the idea of Pokemon postgame has come into the focus over the last few games. A bunch of you wankers have insisted that there isn't enough to play in the postgame. I say the only thing that should be playing after your video game is the fucking credits. If it chafes your diapers that hard not to play more of the game you just beat, the capitalist system has got a great solution for you. Go buy another game, you lazy nonce! The whole point is to keep catching them, so why the hell do you need even more story? It's right there in the fucking theme song, for cripe's sake. Number frickin' 2. Another thing people seem to cry about their games is the pace at which they start. As if sitting there hitting the A button on a PhD educated geyser is such a frickin' chore. In terms of tutorials, I think they end a bit abruptly when you consider how a 10-year-old begins hiking across a continent. All of us be painfully daft anyway, so we clearly need some guidance. They put it in there, so you might as well use it. Besides, more tutorials just means we can get even less post-game, and we can dedicate that valuable time towards some professor-on-professor action. I'd mess me pants if a pair of white lab coats rambled for 2 hours about science I don't understand, and the lack of said conversation is leaving your lad a bit blue-balled. Number motherfucking 1. Now that we've gone over what this game really needs, I think we go over what this community itself really needs. Because it has been far too long since me Gen 1er brethren have gotten anything to be excited about. Year after year, I wonder when the eggheads of Nintendo are going to bring back the flawless experiences of red, blue, and yellow to our big console screens. They don't even need to remaster them, just ship out the same games for $60 and I'll be slapping 90 on the GameStop counter before lunchtime. But since we are getting a new place anyway, more parts from Gen 1 to make an experience will really help it shine. In fact, just copy-paste chunks of Kanto to Galar and this game will sell like haggis hotcakes. And furthermore...
Who the hell are you? What are you doing on my computer?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm entertaining the masses.
Get the hell out of my house.
I regret nothing, you Gen 5 loving twat.
Sorry about that, Starbites. I'll be sure to lock my computer next time. Also, before I forget, happy April Fools.